All right, and we are back. I'm not exactly 100% sure on what the chat bans were because I told them to go and they immediately started without doing the chat bans. I think they might have already been taken care of before we got into the lobby, though.
That is what I suspect. They're usually a little bit more ahead of it than we are.
So I don't have anyone PMing me on what they actually were, so I guess I'll have to wait for that.
We'll let you guys know in the Azubu chat when we know.
I will put it up on the stream. For right now, the chat bans are absolutely unknown. Janna is being banned out, Janna being one of the strongest, if not the strongest support on Dominion, as well as Lulu. I am assuming, yes, Mad Supportal is on the enemy team. He has quite the record with Lulu in Dominion tournaments. I believe he was at 102 games undefeated with Lulu, or 102 tournaments.
Something pretty intense like that. I think he's only lost one game
Yeah.
ever. And
So,
Pantheon and Poppy were the chat bans. I've just been told by the admin.
perfect. All right, I'll get that updated for everyone.
And we're seeing Jace and Zyra taken out in the bans as well. And Zyra, as we talked about in the game prior to this one, being a very good damage dealer who zones really hard. And Jace, neat to see Jace taken out. Jace, long range poke is very good, and he does a lot of damage. He can get absolutely brutal.
Yeah, Jace is an incredibly scary champion on Dominion, especially in the right hands. No Namer, the player you see over here on blue team, which is Goon Squad, is a very, very well-known overpowered champion player. So he plays a lot of the really strong champions, and Jace is one of his favorite champions. Jason Dominion builds that Infinity Edge, or Lord Van Dam's Pillager on Dominion, and once he gets that super crit amplifier with his W, you unleash the hashtag blat 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 and start three-shotting everything that comes into range to you. So that is a very good ban, and they are going to be picking up that Jarvan. As we just talked about in the previous game, Jarvan is one of the best initiators on the map, as well as being an incredibly strong bruiser. He can win those 1v1s, he can set up your team for an amazing team fight, and just that ultimate, being able to lock down a team inside and keep them there for a few seconds. Very, very good pickup here by Goon Squad.
Now, it looks like we may also see a Leona being picked up as well. Leona, who's also highly favored in Dominion competition because she brings a lot of crowd control to the table. Her chase is good. Her ability to stick to people is very good with Zenith Blade. And she just doesn't die as long as you have Eclipse up. She is a champion that loves cooldown reduction. Being able to keep Eclipse up dramatically reduces the damage that she takes, and I've seen her referred to as Raid Boss Leona enough times to know that that's, if you want a good solid tank, Leo makes a great choice.
Leona is the way to go, and now, oh my goodness, No Namer has Kha'Zix and Kassadin on the table right now. Mr. OP Spammer himself does have both of the, I actually don't know. Since Kha'Zix got recently changed pretty hard, I haven't been able to see him in action or in high-level play, but considering he's hovering over the Kassadin right now, I think he's going to go with his bread and butter and the champ he's most comfortable with right now. And Double Lift is going to be picking up that Braum. Incredibly good pickup. Oh, no, never mind. It looks like he's going to switch to Maokai.
Maokai instead, and Eve?
No Namer, what are you doing, good sir?
Well,
That, I
I'll tell you what, I'll talk about Mao since I actually know what's going on with that, and you can talk about Eve because I'm totally lost.
I'll throw what I can at it.
Alright, Maokai and Jarvan are probably the most represented. As I mentioned, Jarvan has been used for a long time in Dominion competition, picked and banned, and is just super solid. Well, the AP equivalent of that, I'd have to say, is Maokai. Maokai brings, a little bit of airborne, a little bit of snare to the table, amazing damage reduction for his team, and the range on the sapling is so useful for disrupting and delaying. He can stand back behind the tower, throw saplings onto it. He's good at zoning, good at delaying. Excellent. Seeing both of those two on the same team is really scary, and it also means one or the other is probably going to be leaning towards doing more damage. In this particular case, I think it's going to be J4 that we're going to be seeing doing the damage, at least based off the picks so far, and seeing Maokai going a little bit more tanky.
Okay. And with the Evelyn pick, my inside sources have been telling me that there is a very secret build No Namer's been doing with Evelyn recently.
Ooh.
We've been seeing a lot of AD Eve. I know Mala and I believe Hugin. A few other people have been doing AD Eve, RCIX, and Q. AP Evelyn used to be very dominant back with old Blackfire Torch, but since then she's fallen off a little bit. But over on Purple Team here, for I believe this is Killing Dominion, they do have the Kog'Maw with the double tank and the Vi set up. So as long as they can keep that Kog'Maw safe, they're going to have a lot of damage sitting in the back. And Afro picking up a Renekton, I want to say that's a troll pick because we don't see Renekton on this map at all. So I'm going to wait till the lock-ins actually happen before I start talking about their team comp here.
I got caught on this last time, but the Morgana is real. That's... Noob V3 does play some Morgana bottom lane.
Noob is very well known for his oddball picks bot lane. He plays Morgana, he plays Sejuani, he plays lots of crazy things down there. And Afro picking up the Snake, that is a very good pickup. She's very hard to play in the top lane, but can be one of the best mages up top when played properly, as shown by Taeyu back in some of our old tournaments. And Snide, gonna be locking in Misfortune bot. That is going to be a very, very fun bot lane.
It's also very good up against Morgana because Black Shield is going to do comparatively little compared to other potential picks.
Yeah, Snide has actually been playing Misfortune bot for a while. It's very scary. That's actually a very good pick into Noob's Morgana. As you said, the Black Shield won't do very much. It'll just stop the slow from her bullet time. And I don't know. That might be an interesting matchup, though, because Noob is a very good bot player when it comes to playing these oddball champs. So I want to see what he can pull out with this.
Another thing I'm excited to see is this is the first Braum game we've seen in Dominion competition since that champion's been released.
Yes, it has. He was actually released in our little tournament hiatus of nothing going on there, so it will be the absolute first time we see him in competitive play. And since we are on our timer, I can bring up the summoner spells now. And lots of flash. I'm quite surprised, actually, that there are so many flashes coming out now. I was honestly expecting more double summoners, but it's quite a bit of flash. Forgot the icing, going with the exhaust heal on his tanky frontline initiator. I approve of that. That's normally what I run myself.
And look at the picks here. There's something I really like. I like the cog behind the Braum Leo, but I also see the Braum Leo and I say, are they going to be really dependent on cog's damage? Or are they coming from another source that I'm not seeing here?
Braum's damage output is actually surprisingly high, and then you have Leona, who is the bulkiest tank, as well as dealing the most damage as a tank. So it'll be a very interesting matchup. They do have the cog sitting in the back. They do have the Vi to deal a lot of extra damage. He's going to be going for that Ghostblade Last Whisper, standard Dominion build for 2 years now. And then, I don't know, though, because you do have an Evelyn on the other side that is going to be, looking to get into that back line and get the assassination down. You have a Jarvan who can very easily jump into the back. You have a Maokai who can jump into the front and meet head first. But if you had to put the damage output between the two teams, Goon Squad over on the left side, blue team, definitely has a lot more damage. So we'll see how that turns out.
And let's talk about stealth for a moment. For anyone who is new to Dominion competition, or they don't play this map very often, maybe you're checking this stuff out for the first time, stealth on this map is really useful because ward's not a thing here. Getting vision of stealth champions can be very troublesome at times. There's a couple of items that do it, and they're usually built to counter stealth champions. Now, there are Oracle's consumables, but they tend to end up being a little bit too much of a gold sink to justify continually buying. So it falls back onto the item instead being substituted into your build somewhere.
Yeah, so you have to be very, very, very careful because building the vision items will cost gold, will set you back on your actual items, but at the same time, if you get them and you use them correctly, it can pay off. You can shut down that stealthy, and you can win extra team fights or catch them out of position. It's kind of a risk-reward payoff, so we'll see how they manage to do with it.
All right, we just have a few more seconds before we hit the loading screen here. I just want to say once again, it's awesome. Azubu, thanks for putting on the show. Really excited to bring you this tournament. It's good to see all of you guys here in the Azubu TV chat today, coming and hanging out with us. It's great to be back, everyone, as we go into this round of 4 game. If I'm not mistaken, these are best of 3s for the semifinals, right?
Yes, these are best of 3s. And yes, major shout-outs to Azubu and Esportspedia for putting on this tournament. Dominion players were getting a little sad because we don't have any tournaments to run right now. So when we were told that Azubu wanted to put on a tournament, we're all just kind of in shock, like, are you sure? Like, we'll give you 100%, but if you want to do it, we'll back you up. Let's do this. So big shout-outs to them. Thank you for putting all this on.
And let's introduce these 2 teams. Fancy, you want to lead off?
Yes, on the top we have Goon Squad, and this is going to be led by Practice Yellow on the Cassiopeia, Double Lift DG, Double Lift for Dominate Gaming. On that Maokai, No Namer on the Evelyn with the secret strats. I'm waiting to see what that is. And Afro Dynasty on the Jarvan. Meanwhile, we got Noob V3 on the Morgana bot lane. And over on the other team for Killing Dominion, we have who?
On Killing Dominion's team, we have Forgot the Icing playing as Braum, Mad Supportal, aka Zemike, playing as Leona, Rage playing as Vi, XX Desire 69XX, which may be abbreviated to Desire during the game. He's playing as Kog'Maw, and Snide Sentinel playing as Misfortune. I am one half of your commentators for this tournament. I am Gander, and casting with me is...
And my name is Fancy Wolf. It is good to be back on the mic. I have to say, it has been a while. I am just so excited to be casting Dominion tournaments again. This is awesome.
This is pretty much the best thing that's happened to me in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's tying with having gone to MLG Anaheim.
Yeah, MLG Anaheim was a blast. I was disappointed there was no league, but at the same time, it was good stuff. All right, let's get into these items. And a tier Evelyn. A tier Evelyn.
Tier opening. That's tier first into longsword also. So that's telegraphing a Manamune really hard.
I'm being told the damage output is beyond ridiculous with this build.
Beyond ridiculous?
I have not seen it in action myself. I'm waiting to see what happens with it. But the burst is apparently just goes through the roof.
Okay. I have faith in that.
So we're seeing some new strats come out, like, right now. So these are both very well-known Dominion players and teams here. They've been around for quite a while, so we'll see how they even out in this matchup.
New V3 with the Ghost Bride Morg skin. Riot Games' art department is amazing. I swear they get a little bit better with every skin they release. They do an awesome job over there. Taking a look at the rest of the starting items, we're seeing Kindle Gems first on a couple of our tanky friends over there on Braum and Leona.
Yeah, picking up that Kindle Gem. Got to get that CDR.
Very useful on characters like those.
Yeah, in Dominion, we do not have a blue buff, so we do not have something that just gives you CDR for your main important casters, so we have to build a lot of CDR in our builds. So you'll see a lot of Brutalizers, you'll see a lot of Kindle Gems on tanks, but Brutalizer Last Whisper is a major thing on a lot of AD champions, and you'll be seeing people pick up CDR quite often in items. And the fight is starting to go down. Braum just going right in, trying to keep the shield up and keep the Cassiopeia ranged out.
Practice Yellow and Rage having a little bit of a disagreement on the outside of the fight while the rest of their team fights away from them, which is really mitigating Cassiopeia's ability to deal a lot of damage, not being able to deliver miasmas stacked up on them, but things seem to be going okay for them anyway, and Supportal able to pick up the kill against No Namer's Eve, and Forgot the Icing is retreating away from Mao there. Mao is going to be able to take him down.
And the punch will take him out. Yeah, Evelyn didn't get away fully from that auto attack animation before she flashed, and Goon Squad will take the windmill. That is very surprising. I honestly didn't expect them to get it, but at the same time, they do have a Kog'Maw. Let him get ramped up, let him hit that late game. We'll see how this game continues to go on.
Late game Kog'Maw makes you desperate to get a hold of him in any way, shape, or form. And with Evelyn having the stealth, if they don't leave someone standing next to Kog'Maw, Eve will really be able to just show up and remove him from the map.
Yeah, Eve with, oh man, that Muramana. I'm starting to do math and actually think about what will happen when that is completed in my head, and that is very scary now that I think about it. So we'll see. We'll save the surprise for stream when it actually pops up and happens. But Mal just trying to push back here, making sure to keep the wave back. Desire actually trying to get some farm, get his items. Dominion minions are worth a lot of money, so killing those is worth some good gold in your pocket.
Top part of the map. Moving up there as if they're going to dive in on it. Maokai is there, and he does have his Maelstrom available, which makes it very difficult to push against a tower where a Maokai is on. You want to bait out the Maelstrom generally if you can first. And there we go, dropping that. Fight breaks out, middle of that. Cataclysm dropped down, half of it in the Maelstrom as well. Great positioning for them as they fully rout the enemy team right off of that point.
And Mao goes down, but he did his job. He was the front line tank. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Morgana and Snide, that bot point is a little neutralized there. So Noob is going to have to try and get this back. Maokai is reviving to come down and help him. I think he will be able to get onto her. Yes, he will. So that is going to be a dead misfortune. But in that team fight, Cassiopeia was left to just sit in the back and deal damage, and you do not want to do that. When she's dropping that W, dropping that Q, and just spamming Fangs into the fight, that is a lot of pain being dropped onto your team. So that was a very good play by them. They had the Jarvan to lock it down. The Maokai, again, gave his life, but that is your job as the tank. Give it for the greater good.
Dear No Namer, looking to connect with Desire 69 here. Able to do a lot of damage. Team catches up. No Namer is going to be taken down. Double lifed and Afro Dynasty there, beating up on Rage, while Leona is trying to keep Cassiopeia tangled up.
Yeah, and Cass is going to be able to take down this Leona, but the Braum is here. I think he did get stunned, and he was a little stuck in place there while still moving around with the Cassiopeia ult on him, and again, going to come out on top of that fight. That is, I think that's 3-0 in team fights right now that they just haven't lost.
If that continues for them, they're going to have a great game. Practice Yellow free to get all this farm up here. Normally you want to be wary of coming out in the middle of the lane like this, but knowing that so many people were dead on the enemy team, you know, all it has to do is hit tab, look at the timers, no, it's going to take them this long across the map. I can come up here and take these minions without having to worry about being ganked.
Yeah, meanwhile in the mid lane, No Namer getting a little bit caught out here. He's trying to get some damage down and get onto that squishier Vi, not trying to hit the Leona too much because she is very bulky, but that Kog'Maw does have a Storm Relic in the back and he is dropping a lot of damage. They are fighting a 3v4 right now. Practice had to go B. He was only at half health, and No Namer will go down to that Ignite, but Practice is here. He's coming into the fight. The re-engage comes in. Jarvan will catch them into the Cataclysm. Braum is going to get pushed out a little bit. And, oh, Practice, you need to swap onto that Kog'Maw. He is going to start dropping that damage. No Namer comes out, is going to be able to finish it up. And will he be able to get this other kill onto the Braum? I think so. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, though.
Oh! Braum escaped from No Namer. So close.
They are still going in on the fight, and he had no HP left. That DR coming out from his shield wall, so strong.
That's what kept him alive as he was able to retreat. Has a bunch of mana, looking to help contribute with Leo up at the top here.
And Leona and Braum are going to try to take him down. I think he will be able to get this Braum down, but will he be able to escape the Leona? No, he will not. Jarvan is here, going to try and put some pain down onto her, make sure she doesn't get away. Maokai is also here to help. That is probably going to be one dead supportal.
A lot of minions up there. The Dominion minions do more damage than the Summoner's Rift minions, so it's something to keep in mind. You let the little mace minion swing at you, like, it'll take a couple hundred health off you over the course of capturing a tower.
They hurt quite a bit. You never want to mess with Dominion minions. They are the Winions. Alright, and getting back out onto the field here.
The bottom part of the map, Snide Sentinel still staying aggressive, moving past the minion wave to try and threaten Noob V3, pushing Noob V3 back, which is forcing down some of these Tormented Soils away from Snide and on the minions instead, which is a good place for them to be. Snide Sentinel not aware that No Namer is here. No Namer pops the stealth, shows up, engages in good Dark Binding, and Snide Sentinel is going to be defeated. Good gank from No Namer.
Yeah, meanwhile, back up in the top lane, though, we are going to have a team fight, and a little bit of a whiffed ult there by Practice. He's going to be beating himself up for that one a little bit. And I think they may actually lose this engage. They did get the gank off bot, but because everyone is still on the right side of the map, unless Unless Killing Dominion just keeps going all 4 up there. Okay, good. Snide did pop his revive to get back bot and save that point from being captured. Very nicely done.
And they are going to take control of the windmill for their first time in this game so far.
Yep, and oh, Morgana is going to drop the ult, just raw ulting that Misfortune coming in, and will be able to take down, oh, this lifesteal. That Sanguine Blade is going to keep her alive through that. Getting 2v1, said, you know what, I got this.
Those minions being around were actually very useful for Snide Sentinel there. Oh, Dark Bind does not connect. Jarvan here, Misfortune does not have a built-in escape mechanic, and she is going to get a free trip back to the Summoner platform, courtesy of Jarvan 4th.
And he needs to pressure that bot lane, but meantime, Kage is on his way down. But up top here, Maokai is trying to hold it off, but that is a Vi that is going to be chunking all your armor, and then a Braum and Leona, who are just too bulky. I don't know if you're going to be able to get anything out of this one double lift. I think you might have to head on back home.
And against 3 people, he survived for a pretty good amount of time. You know, most other characters would just be destroyed in 1 round of abilities. He took 3 rounds.
That's a Maokai doing tree things right there, messing people up. And Jarvan, oh!
Ooh, so close to escaping, but it was not meant to be.
Yeah, used that flash while the auto attack was still going off and did not manage to... Well, blew his flash and died for it as well. Eve trying to get some gank in the bot lane, get some pressure.
Dark Binding was a little bit too far away for No Name to capitalize on the snare that Morgana had set up for him. But it's okay, there's always the next minute of the game.
Vi and Braum were heading down there, saw that the enemy team was backing off, decided to regroup, get some jungle control, look for the fight. Being very, very good, not sitting in the vision, trying to stick to the fog of war as much as possible. And looks like Vi trying to bait something out here by grabbing the Storm Relic. Cassiopeia getting a good push on the minions. That might actually go neutralize the top point. That'll build up pretty quickly here while they delay.
Misfortune was trying to come up and get involved in this fight because it got low enough to where the bottom lane could be able to come up. But as Misfortune left, Noob V3 went for a push across and drew MF back down to the bottom, so there won't be an imbalanced engagement. But in doing so, Noob V3 got really low on health, has to recall back. But now the fight's a little bit too high up for Snide to try and get in.
Alright, this team fight is going to break out. Both the tanks are getting hit by that Cassiopeia, and oh, the Solar Flare coming down right on top as well with the Vi jumping on you. That is going to be 1 dead snake going down immediately. And as well as Eve getting taken out. This might be a clean sweep 4-for-0. I think we do have revives coming up and out, though. I see No Namer has popped his, but no one else has popped theirs.
No Namer revived into, a pretty rough place to be. He's going to try and pick off the Striders as best he can, but with 4 enemies alive in that area, he has to be very careful. Tagged by Braum, though, could mean bad things for him. Zenith Blade there as well, and a stun from Leona. The amount of crowd control is pretty intense. No Namer trying to get back away. Is he going to be able to get enough distance? Yes. So he was able to pick off Vi with that revive.
He will be able to get out of that, but meanwhile, Cog is trying to capture this point. The minions are coming up. They might actually be able to finish it off. But Morgana in the bot lane. Oh, was that a cleanse? That was very beautiful. Nicely done there by Snide, getting that cleanse off almost immediately.
Whoa. But, New V3 Black Shield does help out against the Make It Rain.
Is able to just walk away and doesn't have to worry about any of the CC.
Oh, Dark Body not quite landing. A couple of narrowly missed ones.
And Killing Dominion doing an excellent job at pressuring this midpoint, making sure that enemy cannot go B or push out. And oh, as I say that, Desire getting caught out. I want to call him Acoustic Ninja, because that's his actual name. He just recently name changed.
Oh, I was wondering who that was when I played him yesterday.
It's Acoustic Ninja.
Okay. Good Solar Flare!
Excellent Solar Flare, right on the money. Going to be taking down that Morgana. And Snide getting a little caught out is going to go down. Jarvan will remain just fine.
Practice heal up at the top, trapped in minions. The minion damage is really useful there, and the minion damage is gonna actually kill Practice Heal here? Nope.
Oh, he got that, the mastery. The 5%
heal off the mastery, yep.
Yeah, or else the minions would have had a field day. We would have seen our first Winion victory in a long time, and that Vi, yeah, punch
yes,
that
you don't want to be like SPG Neo style. Once died to minions, walking away from the top point.
Oh, and this windmill is neutralized here, so it is up for contention. Let's see what's going to happen here. Are they going to let Cog get it? They are, but they're going to try and go in and fight it. Evelyn is not on her way. I don't know if they wanted to engage this fight. Evelyn is going to try to back cap, but Braum is going to be there to stop it. Maokai flashing over the wall, trying to get away.
And Double Life is, he's having some struggles here to try and escape, and is not going to be able to do so, it looks like. No, they are going to turn their attention around to Afro Dynasty. He's a little bit squishy, a little bit more dangerous. Worth picking him off instead.
Oh, and this Evelyn just going in, saw the Kog'Maw at low health, said, you know what, I don't care, I'm killing him. Did manage to get him down, but at the cost of her own life, because she did jump into a Braum and Vi, and Practice trying to get away. He is a very squishy snake. He does not want to mess with these two. He does not have a front line with him right now to keep him safe. He's trying to do as much damage as he can before he goes down. Very nicely done, but in the end, he will fall. And Maokai,
we're talking about Cog being Acoustic Ninja, guys, in the Azubu chat there.
Yes, Kog'Maw is Acoustic Ninja. I was not referring to Misfortune. Kog'Maw is Acoustic Ninja.
Ooh, could be a good cutoff for No Namer here at the top part of the map. Tagging Rage, taking him down. Afro Dynasty showing up as well. Forgot the icing, blocking quite a bit of damage there. But alone on the point against the both of them, things are not going to go so well. Eve getting the channel on it. Supportal up here. Solar Flare! Oh, Solar Flare and the minions. It's terrifying.
Those minions are going to hurt. And Afro Dynasty wisely using the EQ to get back out. As Vi and Cog and everyone else are on their way up.
Now, Eve has to recall there. Cog is... The counter to Cog is not present. Because we saw Eve can quickly turn Cog into a fine pink mist. But you have to wait for Eve to get back. You see them falling back as people have to recall. Looks like they're going to turn their attention down to the bottom lane instead. Snide Sentinel retreating back towards the health row, picking it up. He knows something is amiss. He's falling back, looks around. Eve shows up, reveals, drops damage on Snide Sentinel, quickly chipping him down, and is just barely able to pick off the kill before getting defeated himself.
That was still quite a bit of damage. That Muramana is finished on Eve, so I want to see that damage coming out a little bit more. And Vi going in on the Jarvan does have the Braum passive on him, will end up stunning him as he gets the end of his flag, and that will take him down.
Top part of the map, Refinery, getting closer to neutral, and Afro Dynasty is able to show up. They are able to keep that point neutral. Double Life being beaten up in the corner of the fight. No Namer is back. Wants to take out someone. Rage able to dash away. No Namer trying to close in. Cog being pressured by Afro Dynasty, getting a lot of damage in. Very messy team fight for both sides.
Yes, indeed. And oh my goodness, that Cassiopeia ult coming out was amazing. I think that got all 4 if I'm not mistaken. But she is going to end up still going down. This Kog'Maw sitting in the back is doing work. But that Evelyn will get a lot of damage down, will blow up to the Kog'Maw passive. And the pressure was just turned up by killing Dominion here. They are just locking them into their base at this point, but now that they only have 2 tanks left, I think it's time to leave.
And Cog has been doing a very good job for them in this later portion of the game. They've been in control of 3.5 points for a little bit here. It looks like Cassiopeia now is going to turn this around. New V3 has been holding pretty well in the bottom lane for most of the game, but the later it's gone, the more trouble he has had dealing with Misfortune. J4 up the top part, trying to get a hold of this, but Vi coming around from the side is going to be able to connect with him.
Yep, and it looks like he's just going to walk away, taking a little bit of poke from Kog'Maw, but that Braum, oh, that slow is going to be there. The Vi is going to jump in.
Afro Dynasty is able to get back away. They're able to sort of assert their position there. Leo taking a lot of damage, drops a Solar Flare on herself to catch a couple of people.
Excellent, and they are going in as hard as they can right now, doing an excellent job. And I do have to pause really quick and say for the chat, I am going to be doing some quick game adjustments here at the very end of this. Getting a lot of complaints of lagging and stuff, so I'm going to probably stop the stream and I'll bring it right back up as soon as this match is over. I'm going to try lowering the settings a little bit for everyone and making sure everyone can at least watch the stream. So I will take care of that as soon as this game is over. Bear with the lag until it is, and I'll make sure that's fixed up for everybody.
Eve caught alone on the top point. Neutral towers detect for both sides, and Eve was able to retreat there. Looks like Braum turning around, looking around, seeing if he can spot where she is going. When you have a stealth champion like that, that goes Mia, you want to hang back towards the speed shrine on your side of the map to respond to them if they decide to go for a different area of the map. Ooh, J4 with the interrupt, but is J4 going to be able to get out of this
the rest of his
okay?
team is here. Is he going to be able to get anything else done? No, the CC is so strong right now coming out, and he does not have Merc Treads, which is a major, major problem, especially against a Leona and a Braum. So they did manage to get that point neutralized. Evelyn actually going for a back cap over on the side here, and she might be able to get that fully neutralized. No, the Kog'Maw was there to stop her. Very nicely done. Good recovery. Back up in the top lane.
Ooh,
Cassiopeia trying to get something done.
And Acoustic with a great chase. XX Desire 69XX. Good job. Top point of the map. Kog'Maw on his way up to it. Bottom lane, there's a... Oh my gosh! Snide Sentinel living with 2-digit hit points there from Noob V3's Morg. Morg coming back down to the bottom part of the map. 2v1 against Forgot the Icing. Snide Sentinel could not say to contribute to that at all. He did have to retreat.
Yeah, and it looks like the Tankmaster Braum is going to go down. It's very nicely done.
And against the Kog'Maw, you can't capture a point. You just kind of have to wait.
It's worse than a Nidalee, because he's just sitting way back there, just like, nah, I'm just going to drop an R. And Dominion does have a built-in Chalice, so when he's low on mana, it is very quickly regenning, so he can get it back up. Hopefully, he won't be able to get a full mana bar by the time this team fight starts, but he should be able to get about 30% back.
Solar Flare drops on Practice Yellow. They engage in on Cass. Cassiopeia's health falling out the bottom of the health bar. Able to get in a little bit of damage before being defeated. And it looks like, though, the damage that was thrown down was going to be sufficient, especially with No Namer, all the focus being on Cassiopeia. No Namer's Eve able to sit and do some damage there, was able to help them turn that around. And Braum pushing J4 over here.
Yeah, just dishing out some pretty decent damage, saying, yo, J4, this is my side of the map. What are you doing? Get out of here. So he will have to retreat. He is going to have to go B. They do have the 3 cap right now, so they are not under a lot of pressure to finish the game. They can take their time. They can rethink what they need to do. Noob has a very good push in the bot lane, and it looks like Evelyn's going to be heading up. She's completely invisible. No one is going to be able to see her, and she's just kind of waiting out, seeing what's going to go on, testing the waters a little bit. And, oh, meanwhile, back in bot lane, there's Zhonya's going off. A crit going down. Another crit going down. Taking out that Morgana. And oof, that Misfortune down in the bot lane is looking very scary.
I didn't have time to click down there when I saw the fight start. That's how quickly that ended.
Yeah,
So-
it went very fast. And then, although Morgana did have revive, she's going to be able to get back down there in time to defend the point. But it looks like we are going to have the team fight coming out for mid here. The midpoint is neutralized, so the points are at a complete standstill. And oh, the CC, as soon as that Cassiopeia popped out, just getting completely jumped on by everything. And this Leona, this is why we are afraid of Leona in Dominion. She pretty much just 1v1 that Cassiopeia, aside from a little bit of extra damage from her team. And here comes Afro in to try and make some plays. Is he going to be able to finish off the Kog'Maw? He will, but I think this Kog'Maw passive might finish off unless he has the Q combo. No, he does not.
Snide Sentinel in the bottom was able to pick up that point against Morgana. Once again, Cassiopeia heading down there in response. Snide Sentinel's damage is just a little bit too crazy for Morg to handle, I think, at this point.
Yeah, if he just gets off a few auto attacks, it is going to hurt a lot.
Oh my gosh, No Name are taking basically no damage because of that Randuin's Niceborn Gauntlet.
He's got a Rand. Oh my goodness, but the Cassiopeia does not have as much armor as the Evelyn. And she is just going to get melted. As I said in Champ Select, Cassiopeia can be one of the strongest mages up top. It's just, you gotta know that positioning. You gotta know how to play her properly, because she is very, very squishy.
J4 more set up for damage up here than anything else. I don't know how long he'll be able to delay on this point. Gets it going for a little bit, but he is going to be dead before Maokai can get there. Yes, unfortunately. And now J4 is no longer on the map. Maokai does have to back off.
And they are going to try and get a kill on this Kog'Maw bot lane. And, ooh, that damage coming out from that Evelyn was scary. I'm digging this Muramana build. I'm digging it. It's cool. That burst.
Is very interesting.
It had a
Eve
very
has picked up an Odin's now as well.
Yeah, that Odin's Veil, being the Banshee's Veil of Dominion, incredibly strong at blocking 10% of all magic damage, and looks like we are going to have a fight in the bottom, and that tree cannot stand up That is the Misfortune going to get chased out of the fight, and Misfortune coming in as well. Snake going to get blown up by the Vi, just dealing way too much damage with that armor. And oh, the Evelyn coming in, cleaning stuff up. Is he going to be able to finish off Snide, though? I don't know. Snide has so much lifesteal, is going to be taking out 3 of them as the game ends. Very nicely done.
They are going to take the first game of the series here.
Yes, we have 2 more matches against these teams, and this isn't even finals yet. So I am definitely hyped to see what the final games are going to look like, because that was in itself a fairly impressive game from both teams. And looking at the stat screen here, we do have the Evelyn sitting at a 20, 11, and 20. I want to get to the damage charts, but I got to look at this one first here. But going down, you had our tanks doing tanky things as Leona, very scary, picking up a Void Staff that only in Dominion, and a Blackfire Torch, which is a Deathfire Grasp for those of you guys who play Summoner's Rift. The main reason she'll pick that up is because it can amplify all magic damage dealt to the target. So when she picks it up, she's mainly saying, yo, I want my Kog'Maw, or I want anyone else dealing magic damage to do even more magic damage. So it's more of a tanky support pickup in that sense. So her Kog'Maw would be dealing a lot more damage from the back line. Wow, those damage charts. Yeah. That is a pretty impressive amount of damage there coming out from the Kog'Maw, being able to sit in the back with that super tanky front line and just blowing things up. And looking over here, Evelyn damage was not as high as I was expecting it to be. I was expecting a little bit more from that, but the Jarvan bringing out the 40k. I'm digging it. That Jarvan with the full assassin build, going in as hard as he can, picking up that Wardens at the end because he needed to be a little bit bulkier. But we'll be right back. We're going to have a very, very short commercial break, and then we will get into Game 2.